Our goal has always been to build a school that teachers want to teach, and that bleeds down to learners wanting to learn. I want kids to be able to be kids, and I want kids to feel comfortable, being that wholly comfortable over the years. When it was introduced to me, I was fortunate to come from a similar school, but then when I was able to kind of live and breathe it, it's a pretty amazing story.
We moved in 1975 and I was 4. I was in Miss Oven's class and I can still remember pulling in and it was a Monday and Dad was saying, well, we have chapel today and we're gonna say, good morning, church. We're gonna introduce that to all the students. And I was like, okay, good, because we used to do that in Jacksonville where we came from. And he said, that way all the kids know that when we walk in, it's their church and it's not just a building. And we're saying, good morning, church.
Everything was so small. And
right.
Where did we fit? Where did we fit
Right.
everything?
So you had the church and then you had the parish hall and then you walked down this long corridor and behind the corridor, that was probably not that long,
No.
and behind it, there were 2 levels. And on the ground level was 2nd grade through 5th grade, all on one hallway. So it was like not that big.
No.
And then you would walk downstairs and it was pre-K, kindergarten, and maybe 1st grade. And that was it in this building. It was all concrete.
Oh, it was.
It was tiny.
One bathroom.
One bathroom for both
all
hallways. We couldn't even move or really write without hitting people.
Well, originally, when we kind of came up with the idea that we needed to move, it was pretty clear that our existing campus, that we were busting at the seams. We had very little play space. We had very little lab space. I mean, without remarkable teachers, it just would not have lasted as long as it did.
I think I was in the 4th grade the first time Dad started talking about expanding the school. And he had multiple conversations over years with the family that sold the property ultimately, but actual plans were drawn for the new school and all the way through middle school and potentially a high school. And I can remember being in the 4th grade and him having those plans all over our kitchen table.
I became the interim head of school in 1993. When I looked at the school's finance and asked to see their audit, I found that the school had ceased to be a going concern and really should have closed.
When I started on the finance committee, they handed me one sheet of paper that was filled out with a pencil, and it showed me the budget. And so I'm a lawyer and a CPA, and so I'm saying, where's the cash? Where's the balance sheet?
I knew that without the power of God, it was not going to survive. And there were all these people who wanted to come see me and talk about expansion of the school. The school was declining in enrollment, had no money, and I'm thinking at first, I was a math major, I'm thinking, I can't believe these people think that we can do this. This is just going to be impossible. And yet, I remember that transformation. I caught that fever and that vision.
Everybody was excited. The thought of having more space to learn and play and explore and develop your faith in a beautiful environment was very enticing to all of us.
Well, first off, before we purchased the property, there was a lot of steps that had to be taken. One was getting approval from the diocese. First, we had to identify the property. Somebody found this land, and this land was not for sale. It had cows on it. It was cow pasture. Then we had to get them subject to a contract, and they were in no time rush. We had a lot of problems because a lot of it was conceptual. We'll sell you this property, but we don't know exactly where it is because we're putting in this road, but we don't know where the road's going.
I have to say that each and every family played a role in this whole process, from the very beginning, the inception of the idea, to breaking ground and actually moving in. It was all hands on deck. I mean, everybody did. There were fundraising pieces, there were event pieces, there were just supporting our teachers in the process. It was truly the most wonderful collective effort that I've ever been a part of.
But we met every step on every deadline with no backup plan. And nobody's that good. You know, anybody want to know about the existence of the Lord, I'll show them this facility, because none of us are that good. Everything had to hit exactly right, no plan B, and we any delay anywhere would have fouled us up.
Within that first year, we were financially in the black. Within 2 years, we had saved enough money to purchase this land that the school sits on Flashman Road. We purchased 40 acres and we paid cash for it.
The day that we closed on this property, it was so exciting. Everybody was so tired. But as a way to celebrate that, we had about 40 families come out literally right on this space, in the space where the Commons is. And we had a camp out with about 40 families. And so we slept under the stars and just gave thanks for all that God had done.
The school grew to 3 times its size. We extended down to pre-K 3, we extended up to 8th grade. The school has just gone through so many endeavors which have been so positive because of all the people who love the school, all the people who see the value of it.
We got here by 1,000 steps, and each step was rather small, but you look back and you've crossed the Grand Canyon.
When I look at all the ways that God answered our prayers and allowed something impossible to happen, it truly is a miracle school based on faithfulness and prayer.
When we walked on this property for the first time, looking at my dad's face when we got out of the car, and he just was like tears rolling down his face, and he was like, this surpassed any dream I ever could have had. And walking around the brick and the bell tower, the bell was here, and he just was like, we're home.
We're home.
We're home.
This is holy ground. This is inhabited by the Holy Spirit. And something special happens here and moves here through children, through adults, through families. And you want others to have a part of that warmth as well.
The neat thing that I quote unquote inherited were the traditions of the events, whether it's the first grade nativity, whether it's May Day. Those are the traditions that are solidified in the memories of people my age.
I remember May Day and learning to wrap the pole. It was such a rite of passage.
That was like, as it is here, where it's your 5th grade tradition, and it's like this big rite of passage going into middle school.
And those traditions are incredibly important to what we do and how we do things. And again, it's that connectedness that students from now can reach out to students from the past who are adults now and have that common theme, whether it's a Smokies trip or what have you. That's a common denominator between those two to have a conversation and create a relationship. We are so fortunate to stand on the shoulders of others, and we do not take that for granted. But we're incredibly fortunate that there's a spiritual side to this place. It's our responsibility to take those lessons from the past and challenge ourselves to continue to strive and grow into being what we can become.
I think if you want to talk about 70 years, I moved here when I was 4. I graduated through the 8th grade. I got married here. My first child was baptized here in Holy Comforter. My children went to school through the 8th grade here. So I don't have 70 years experience, but it has encompassed every part of my life. It's touched every part of my life.
This school believes that every child is a unique creation of God. And the special teachers who work here, every child known by name, every child treasured as an individual. It's a wonderful formula. It's the type of school that every child deserves.
It's a home. It's not just a school. It's not just a church. It's a home. And that's what's been preserved and continues to grow through all these different traditions and programs and community.
When I die, and I hope I go to heaven, I expect to go to heaven, I think the sound I'm going to hear is that playground. There's something special about the kids' innocence, energy level, that noise. When I come out here and I hear it, I get energized.
In a world that is so up and down and all over the place, Holy Comforter has been a constant in my life, my children's life, hopefully my grandchildren.
What I am most grateful for is that my kids got to experience Holy Comforter.
When people say to me, why? Why do you want to be here? I personally am like, how can you not?
Not.
How can you not?